Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have the woke that are eating their own. We have people that are protesting against the insanity, the racism. But the video will kind of show a bit more what I'm talking about here. But it does seem like they're finally understanding the racism that is affecting their ilk, the people that are actually being racist. Now, to be perfectly clear, I think we all understand that the Democrats are probably the most racist group of people, considering they are also the ones that wanted to keep the black people from, being slaves. But I digress. It's really not, all that really great, So, yeah, the Democrats are, like I said, like Thomas Falwell said, the racism is on life support, and the only way that it will remain is for the Democrats to keep using it. Well, doesn't seem like the LA people are really being all that great about it either, since they don't like the racism. Take a look at this. Oh, and by the way, I half agree on what they say.
Resign! Resign! Your racist comments are out of line! Resign! Resign! Your racist comments are out of line! Resign! Resign! Your racist comments are out of line! Your record does speak for itself, Nury Martinez. That's right. Your record does speak for itself. The abuse, the murder at the hands of the police, who have seen a $1 billion increase in their budget under her watch as LAPD. Bullshit. This record does speak for itself. So we have to finally be willing to hold these folks accountable.
Now, I agree with everything that she probably should potentially resign for some of the racist comments that she made. Rather, let's put it with the term monkey. Anything could be used as a term of monkey for when a kid is acting up or being insane. There are other words, obviously, that she has said that are not good at all, that are more determined on racism. So I don't think it's really those particular words exactly on the actual term monkey. I wouldn't, of course, the media I think portrays the term monkey as being racist. It can be depending on context, but again, I've said the word monkey all kinds of times in terms of in terms of what's been going on, especially when I'm playing League of Legends and there's somebody acting like a literal monkey by playing horribly or doing stupid stuff. I'll obviously say that they're playing like an absolute fucking monkey. I mean, it's not really a surprise as people use the term monkey in a lot of different ways, in different terms, determining on where they're at in the context. And in her context, I don't think the word monkey can really be applied here, although due to some of the other comments that she has said, we could put two and two together that monkey could be a term of racist intent. But again, can't really correlate that with this. However, here's one thing I don't like what these so-called people are saying or doing. Okay, so I agree that she probably should resign for, as I said, for the racist remarks. I don't agree that you should be defunding the police because they're the ones that are protecting your asses. So that being said, that is incredibly stupid. I mean, go ahead, defund the police. Make sure everything falls apart, and make sure you guys get killed and shot and all that other stuff because you're all idiots. So, I agree with you wanting to remove somebody that is racist from the actual council, but I don't really agree with you guys wanting to defund the police. But again, that's your guys' idiot prerogative and your own way of wanting to really make things worse for yourselves because, the police are the one that protect you. But by all means, please, make your city worse. That's fine by me. Now, let's take a little clip here of where they're in terms of, I don't think this was really in terms of the, in terms of, I would say, the police, but her actively denouncing the racism that these people have been spoken, which should be called out. Take a look at this.
Resign immediately. The recordings were not comments that show frustration got the better of you, but display the character you are comfortable with when the cameras aren't rolling. Approximately 9% of LA is black, and each one are now less comfortable and less safe knowing that City Council is not only full of bigots and racists, but also threats to democracy. I said what I said. You politicians and elected leaders of Los Angeles represent a great, if not a greater threat to democracy than any Trump supporter with a flagpole. You are the true insurrectionists, because not only did you spew vile, hateful comments, but those comments clearly informed the way you exercise political power this city gave you by electing you to city council. Shame on you for subverting democracy this way. These comments were made over a year ago, and your apologies now prove that you aren't ashamed of your conduct or your behavior. You're ashamed you got caught. LA must be better than this and prove itself the example for the rest of the country to follow. Resign now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Man, doesn't seem like it's going too great for them now, is it? That was a pretty powerful speech, and there's one big key thing here I want you guys to really notice. Is that when she said that it was worse than any Trump supporter with a flag, that really speaks volumes on how bad, on how worse things they have really said. So that means that even the people that are on the Democratic side, of which I would say that are not insane, or don't really agree with the BS that is currently happening. So therefore, they have made it a very personal statement to where if it's worse than the Trump supporter, it's worse than the Trump supporter with a flag. That's a pretty big and bold statement, and that's probably going to resonate really strongly through with the Democrats here. So yeah, it doesn't seem so great. And it does seem like the lady has resigned, along with somebody else has not also resigned. But it seems like it's been good. It's been a good point of view. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this clip.
Over racist remarks that were made during a meeting on redistricting. Within the past 90 minutes, Nury Martinez says she's resigning from her council seat. She and 2 other council members have faced criticism and widespread calls to step aside, including from President Biden.
We no longer have quorum.
City Council tried to meet this morning, but had to call off the session for a second day in a row because of the protests that you see and hear here. The group wanted Martinez, Kevin De Leon, and Gil Cedillo to step down. The 3 were part of a meeting where racist language was used to describe a colleague and his 2-year-old son. All 3 have apologized, but only Martinez has resigned her council seat. Now, since the conversation was made public, more people have called for an overhaul of the redistricting process to address the ways that politics can influence the redrawing of maps.
I think that if we can decentralize more of the power, have more diversity, have a greater voice, have greater representation, we can do that by increasing the number of council members. Because let's remember, the very source of this entire tragedy was a secret meeting at the County Federation of Labor by 3 of my colleagues discussing how to maintain power.
And today, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said that he will investigate Los Angeles's redistricting process. Bonta didn't give a lot of details, but said in a statement, quote, "We are going to gather the facts. We're going to work to determine the truth and take action as necessary to ensure the fair applications of our laws." He said the investigation could lead to civil liability or criminal charges depending on what is found.
Now, of course, we have seen some of the crazy stuff that was been said here. Now, when the guy said we need more representation, more diversity, and stuff like that, I don't think that's really going to fix the problem here. Races can be of any color, of any race, any race for that matter, of any person. So it really doesn't matter who is in there. I think what happens is if you just have this diversity type stuff, this type of race of just decorum, this type of terrible thought process, you are going to not get best people for the job. I would highly suggest what you guys should do is that you should elect people and put people into place that is not of that forum, or that is not of people that are by color, but by race, but by their actual skills. Because what happens is when you put people by race, you make things way worse. You just don't fix the problem. You guys have a horrible way of doing things, and I don't think this is going to really solve very much of anything. Of course, if you elect a Democratic person, they may perceive to be more racist than imaginable, because that seems to be the case. But I digress. Now, finally, we'll get into. Oh, by the way, before I continue, Democrats, I mean, more and more in terms of Democratic politicians, because they seem to be the more racist types rather than being the non-racist types. So there you have it. Not saying that the Republicans are not racist as well, because there's most likely definitely racist Republicans that do need to be spot out and gone against, obviously. But I don't know, after seeing that whole 209 bill from California, where it really wants to have to be able to discriminate against black people and women, it makes me really hard pressed to really say that they're not the racist ones here. Anywho, take a look at this clip here of Martinez being a legitimate racist. You got to judge it for yourself.
With that going, he did call me. He wants to have breakfast with me.
What's taking him so long?
I haven't. I just said, hey, we need to talk.
Gil supported him from the.
All right, don't worry, I got you.
Yeah. Fuck that
So
guy.
you'll start seeing them line up.
He's with the blacks.
Isaac was the first.
Whatever the kid's name is, I'm like, it's like the oddest thing. It's like black and brown on this float, and then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. Este niño has they're not even, they're not doing, the kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over. There's nothing you can do to control him. Parece changuito. And I'm just like, oh my God. They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Like, let me take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
¿Sí me entiendes? Ven para acá.
It's a pinch.
Yeah.
But yes, he's the fourth black.
So anyways, getting back to redistricting.
Yeah, that's called K-Town.
Yes.
I see a lot of little short, dark people.
Yeah, puro Oaxacan. Puro Oaxacan Koreans. Not even like Kevin, little ones.
I was like, no, I don't know where these people are from. I was like, I don't know what village they came, how they got here, but.
And then they're wearing shoes.
So one. I get what we have to do, right? Just massage to create districts that benefit you all, right, and the future.
Yep.
But we got to figure out Mark's seat too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, that benefits you three.
Because if the African Americans look at this, now that he might or may not be suspended, I don't know what's going to happen. I think he should be, but anyhow, if he goes away.
You mean resign, not suspended?
No,
you're right. I think there is a difference.
If I may,
if he resigns, hold on. If he resigns and the African Americans look at this as a hostile takeover because he's gone, we'll have to figure that shit out because politically they're gonna come after us.
Yeah, but can I say something right now? And this is what I call the ¿cómo se llama this guy? The movie, the Wizard of Oz effect. And what I mean by the Wizard of Oz effect is when you're at the side of the curtain, it's like this big voice. And it sounds big. And it sounds like there's thousands of them. And then when you actually pull the curtain, is that you see the little Wizard of Oz. You know what?
I've never watched the movie.
It's the same thing.
All right.
it's real simple. You got 100 people, right? 52 of them are Mexicanos. I feel pretty good about it. I feel pretty good about my chances of beating your ass.
25 are black. And the 25 blacks are shouting. And the
But they shout like there were 250.
Yeah.
When there's 100 of us, they're like, it sounds like
So,
there's 10 of us.
but if somebody slides in, right, temporary or however you do it, right, that person has to support the three of you. Has to support the three of you. And Danny.
You know who wants to run for that seat?
Reggie.
No, Isidore.
I ain't gonna support Reggie. Reggie was over there with Karen.
Who was over there?
After he was fucking sweating his ass off.
The one who will support us is Heather Hutt.
Yes.
I like Heather Hutt.
Yeah, so there you have it. It doesn't seem like they're very very good, great people. It seems like they're extremely corrupt. Also seems like they're only trying to benefit themselves, and on top of that, they're being, actively racist. Now, some of them want to say like the monkey type thing or whatever, but that's not really like the biggest deal for me. I think there were other key factors here that was like the racism, which was specifically trying to teach the black kid like a white kid, and stuff like that. Like there's other racist undertones that have obviously been there that the press didn't really address because it didn't really fit their narrative. But yeah, and these people are obviously garbage human beings, and they should honestly be resigned. But we'll see what happens and what else the people they bring in, because we all know that that these people will probably still elect people similar to them for their ideology. But only time will tell. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care.